An underwater quake almost 2,000 kilometers away from Cape Town in the Indian Ocean sent shockwaves through the city over the weekend. There were cause for calm all around. So, what lies beneath? Dr Gideon Groenewald is a geologist with the Gift of the Givers Foundation. He joins us now. Dr Groenewald, good evening to you. Thank you for your time. Why would people in Cape Town be so rudely awakened by something that happened so far out to sea?
Stephen, what is important, we must understand that South Africa was part, or Africa was part of a much bigger continent called Gondwana land many million years ago. Now, Antarctica moved towards us about 400 to 300 million years ago, and then broke away going south again about 180 million years ago. Now, the breakaway of these continents weren't political. They just didn't like each other. And those forces are still at play. So what I found on the Google Maps that I studied, the epicenter of the big quake of 6.2 was about 1,900 kilos to the southeast of Cape Town. And on the Google map, there's a clear fracture zone or fault zone that comes from the epicenter point all the way past Cape Town. It misses South Africa by about 100 kilometers south of Mossel Bay, but then turns right into Cape Town. And I think my interpretation is that the aftershock of the big earthquake moved along that fracture zone and just by chance hit Cape Town in a very sort of a limited point, and many people to the north of Cape Town experienced another quake about 12 hours later. So what happens is these plates that makes up the earth, they are like plates in a basin. So if you move one of them, all the others will also kind of move. So these plates will just settle themselves over the next 12 to 14 days. So people must be kind of wary of these things. But I don't think we'll see big quakes in Cape Town anymore.
So in other words, one quake leads to more quakes. You can have aftershocks and other tremors. Or maybe this was just a pre-shock.
Well, that is what nobody knows. You know, people ask me, can we actually say that another one is coming, a bigger one is coming? Unfortunately, nobody in the world can actually predict earthquakes. All we can say is that because there was one, there is a likelihood of others, and we need to, for the people in Cape Town and actually all the people on the beaches from Durban down to Cape Town on the eastern side of South Africa must just be on the lookout for things called rogue waves. These are waves on the sea that are not tsunamis, but they are about 1 to 1.5 meters high with a lot of energy. And when they hit the beach, they run up very far. They steal all your stuff, your chairs, maybe some of your children, anything lying around is going to be sucked back into the sea in that second. So people must just check out for these things. But for the rest, I think we are quite safe.
All right, why doesn't it create a tsunami? We all remember that horrendous Indian Ocean tsunami and what happened, 10, 15 years ago now. Why didn't that happen here?
A tsunami, what happens with a tsunami is you need to have a very big movement of the seafloor. Now, if I look at the Google Maps, obviously I'm not the expert. The Council for Geoscience people will be much better equipped to tell you. But what I think what happened here is we had a lateral movement of the plates. So there's a very prominent line going from Madagascar to Antarctica, and then there's a cross to Cape Town with another line. And I think what happened is the movement along these fractures were linear, so they didn't go up and down. So they just moved linear, and they normally have much less energy at the surface of the water than if you would put like a rock in the water and you bump the water up and down. And normally with the up and down ones, like what happens in the Malayan islands in Japan and those places, is that then the surface of the sea actually jumps up, and that wave then becomes bigger and bigger with a lot of energy, stays very low, maybe 3 meters above the sea level, but when the foot of the wave, energetically speaking, when the meets the shallow seas. Now, if you look at a map of South Africa, you will see that Mossel Bay, where we drill for oil, there's a big platform of shallow sea all the way south of Mossel Bay. Now, when these waves hit the shallower water, the bottom of the waves get stuck on the bottom of the sea, and then the top of the wave starts growing higher and higher, and when that wave then hits the land, it washes water in very, very far away.
Dr. Gideon Groenewald, a geologist with Gift of the Givers, thank you very much indeed. Really do appreciate it. Fascinating, really, isn't it?